So in my community, we have initiation school around June, and that is when the girls and the boys go to the mountains or wherever it is that we say they go, and they are it's supposed to be a rite of passage, if you would like, and they teach you about manhood, and the women go off by a gikoba, that's what we call it in my language, and then basmana by a gomeni, the boys they go to the mountains and they teach them about basically what is expected of them as men, or so we are told, because if you haven't been, they are told not to share what goes on there, so we just know what the idea is of why they go there. But I am confused. I did a video a while ago and I'll link it. Nambita, the actress, was talking about, she was on a podcast and I did not understand what the fuck she was talking about. You know, she's not Amlebedu, she's Xhosa, and she's talking about her son going away and stuff, and they do it much later in life, which I understand. Like, I'm a fan of the fact that the boys usually go when they're 18, right after matric, I think. Or I've seen that to be the pattern, because when I left home after matric as well, and I was seeing around, I was like, okay, why is this one dressed like that? And then they explained, oh, okay, it's because but the boys look older. They look at the cusp of manhood out of boyhood, and it makes so much sense to me. It was supposed to be that way in my culture as well, but capitalism has seeped its way into our ways of life. And what then has happened is any little boy can run off there. Like, what is a 7-year-old doing going to the mountains to go learn about being a man? You're wearing your shoes wrong still, babe. Like, your shoelaces come undone all the time because you don't know how to tie them properly as yet. Why is this a concern of yours? You know? But I often wonder how useful these teachings are and these customs are, and how much we should guard and protect them. And I say that because the fruits of said customs are less than desirable to me. The boys that come back from the mountains are unpleasant, disrespectful. So I'm wondering, what are the teachings? Especially in the classrooms, they're a problem when they first get back, because they feel like, I'm a man now. Especially with the women teachers, like, they don't want to be told shit. Like, what can a woman tell you? Why am I having this conversation? We're going to watch this clip. My best friend told me to block this channel. Let's watch.
Would you agree if I were to say that black men have failed the black family unit and have failed society? Because it's
Not
one
at
thing to
all.
point out where women have fallen short.
Not
but
at all. I can't blame men. Men did nothing wrong. Women messed up our society. These men were raised by women.
But the men run away from their responsibilities.
Because they were raised by women.
Ew. Just like that.
Simple as that. A man who was raised by a woman does not know how to be a man. He can only be a bitch.
So here we have a classic case of, let's just blame the women. It usually sticks. It sticks when we decide that the women are to blame for everything. Your leaders, the people who fancy themselves leaders and have said that they're natural born leaders and maintain this like fucking weird white ideology that has seeped its way into like our blackness. And these are the people, this is a person with so much gusto as saying it's the women. Like, the women. This is why I am very careful about taking spiritual advice from men, because you look at cults and stuff, and a lot of them are headed up by narcissistic men who use women for sexual favors. That's how it starts, right? This is a person who's garnered a reputation online. I see his clips all the time as somebody with a spiritual voice or a spiritual authority. I never look at men with that lens. And even if like 3 times a year they say something that I might agree with, cool, I agree with it. But I always tilt at men because I understand that they are power hungry creatures, and their attraction to power is to attract women. It's always that, because we're the source, right? Like they want to be us. They don't just want us near them. They're also jealous of us. This is why the witch trials, it's our fault. We've done this. You can't be the person who's above me and also claim that I had enough power to destroy our society. Like, how does that work? Can somebody break that down to me and my little peanut brain? Because we don't understand what's gone on, right? If you're the head of me, how have I managed to do this? If you're in control, the fish rots from the head down. You all are running with this patriarchal shit, right? So how, and if you're going to blame the women, if we're going to run with that conversation, because this is a very short clip, I didn't go and watch the entire thing. I have things to do with my life, okay? They decided to put this as the clickbait, and so this is the conversation we're going to have. If this is what you're saying, that the women did, what? I'm going to say this, and I want you guys to take it with the seriousness that I mean it. Men overstate their importance. I think it bugs them that you are not essential. After you nut, you can actually fuck off. And we will raise these people and they will be fine. You are almost resentful, and you're constantly trying to overstate how important and how essential you are here. You're not. Half the time you're here, I say this all the time, you are taking up space, breathing in, not knowing how to contribute in a manner that is helpful. Your little ego is always in the way. We must stop what we're doing. With your fucking ego. So just go. Just go. I've said this to you guys in the video. I said, you don't need your no good daddy. You don't. You're overstating your importance. And the idea that a woman can't teach a man how to be, we're having a human experience here. The basics of how we're supposed to relate to each other are what make us. But when you say to us that a woman can't teach, I hear, oh, that toxicity, that toxic shit that we do, the mom can't teach them that. The mom, they need us to teach them that stuff, right? You're not even blaming the structural things. You're not saying migrant labor is how we got here. The white man coming here and removing the black man from his home to go and dig for gold there in the mines is how we end up in a situation where the women had to raise the kids alone. You're not even saying that. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. There is nothing to really support the fact that even before that happened, you played much of a significant role within raising the children. Why? You're not that fucking important. And it fucks with you. It really, really fucks with them how little they need it. Nobody fucking needs you, Otis. Like, listen, nobody. No, and it bugs you. You have nothing to contribute. And it's telling, again, the kids when they come, the boys when they come back from the mountain school, you're like, what did you learn? What was so you, when Nleba came out, do you remember when the progressive men who've gone to the mountain were saying, I'm glad that they showed what goes on there. I haven't watched the movie, but I'm glad. And all the men who are so obsessed with protecting this thing that does not produce a desirable man, all of them were so mad. Culture, first of all, is not fixed. And I am sick and fucking tired of us trying to hold on to things that no longer serve us. It's not fixed. It's telling of a time. It was useful. Something was created to address a need in this moment, right? And we kept it for as long as it served us. And at some point, we must perk up and be like, what function does this thing serve in the greater society? What fruits does it bear? Okay, it never ripens. The food is always fucking tart. It's disgusting. I'm telling you now, I don't know a guy that's gone to the mountain and come back and they are a pleasant person to want to be around. honestly, the disrespect that they have for the women in their lives all of a sudden, like the very people that birthed you, dress you, still feed and dress you because your fucking daddy ran off. Okay, let's talk about that. You're angry at all the women in your life, right? Because they ran your father off. Your strong leader, head of household, was ran off by the women, the weak women. What are we doing? How do we get here? How do we get here? Apparently we can only teach them how to be a bitch. My favorite thing about my dad that I came to appreciate as a woman, and it was not something I really paid attention to as a child or as a young girl, is kindness. There's a kindness and a softness of how we treat people when they come into our home. How my mom is treated, how extended family is. There's a kindness and a gentleness there that to me is really like the most masculine energy I now know. So I don't like when I see like that like macho thing that the guys do where they think they want to be like, and they like brash and they like harsh at the mouth and like there's this no. Libe and Tamara. Like, but it's like I don't know those to be masculine traits. They're very confusing to me. And at the same time, I'm aware that kindness and grace and accommodation and compassion aren't the words or descriptors that come to mind, that are supposed to come to mind when we think of how men show up in the world, right? Because if that were the descriptors, a lot of men would stick around and raise their kids and then not have to run around and say, we blame the women. The women. Your link to your child and your ability to parent is not reliant on whether or not you're involved with the mother. But you all have made it that. And as long as I can't mind that woman for her labor and I don't get to climb on top of her, then I don't need to show up for those kids either. That's what's going on here. The idea that women are keeping you away from your kids, and the women did this and the women did that. A lot of women bite their tongue because they don't want to end up in a situation where they like, when the child is older and the child says, oh, you used to speak so badly of my dad. So they take the high road, right? Because you want to be a good woman always. They take the high road and you bite your tongue. But your dad is in actual fact a piece of shit. And you know your dad is a piece of shit. Your dad has kids littered all about the fucking place, but it's the women, right? Fuck that one left a kid. Fuck that one left a kid all about the place, has 6 kids, doesn't take care of any of them, but the women, you see, it's the women. Yeah, the women did that. Your dad is in the house and has to be pressured into buying groceries in the same house he's living in, the same food he's going to eat. We know of the women that are the ones that are making sure that everything is right in the home, and we don't know what the man's money is doing, but the women ruin the children. The women are why we're in this situation. Your mom wakes up at odd hours in the morning to go stand at the bus rank to sell magwinya and all types of stuff to get you but the women. See, the women are why we don't have our shit together. The women have the same women who've bathed us, clothed us, spoke life into, prayed for us, sang hymns with us, comfort us, tell us that we're amazing, tell us we're beautiful even when we're fucking not, tell us that we're going to be great and all the girls are going to pine after us even when we're not, because mothers are fucking delusional and stuff. Those women are the problem. Don't take spiritual advice from men. It's always self-serving. They're always inching ever so closer to reminding you that you're under them. That's how that nature boy shit happens. That cart-like shit. I don't care how good he sounds, how poised he sounds. I just like his fucking cadence or whatever. I don't give a shit. Men are not spiritual beings. They're not. I said it out of my mouth. And those that are, very few of them. And if they are, they were probably raised by their fucking grandmother. That's how that happened. They're jealous of us. That intrinsic worth that I've been talking about in several videos, like they know there's a confident assuredness, a thing about us where they're like, no matter how many times I try to break this person down, this person will probably persevere. They're jealous of our relationships, of our village, of our ability to rebrand, to invent, to reinvent, to come back stronger, to do it without them, right? Because the realization of I'm not needed, I'm not fucking important, that hurts. That fucking hurts to know that in your absence, people actually thrive. You know at the back of your mind, when I'm not there, whether or not I come around or I don't, that child will be raised and that child will be loved. I am not important. You can't even say that, but you know you're not. And then you're sitting next to Panyo. Panyo was just telling us the other day that he's hacked being a parent, all because he had like kids with like, is it 4 or he has 6 kids, I think. Guys, if I can find the clip, I'll add it here. And he thought he was cooking, babe. He thought he was cooking. Like, and everybody was just like, what are you saying? And you want to tell me that's a good parent? Just go to work, make money and send money because you're not needed here for much, honestly. And I really hope you can all sit with that and digest it as you should. Now, the 3 of you that are present dads that help your kids tie their shoelaces and clean you don't need to come here and make like you don't understand what I'm saying just because you've decided to parent differently. You know very well that your homeboy has never changed all 3 of his children's diapers. He's a married man for all intents and purposes, and they take family pictures on Sunday and go to church. He's never changed a diaper of one of those kids, has never made them a meal, doesn't know what they like, is irritated when they cry. I know men who their own kids, when they cry, they find something to go and do outside. Like they'll start the car and they would rather go and sit at a tar van than be at home and help their wives figure out how to calm these children down, how to help these children regulate their emotions, because that's what parenthood is. You would rather leave. Why? Because you're not fucking needed and you are useless and you know it and it makes you angry. It makes you angry, so you work overtime to try and convince me that I'm the problem. Something about my worth that I'm born with bugs you so fucking bad. And it's not even that you don't have it. It's that yours, it's beat out of you. The men, once they get their hands on you, they take it away from you. And now you walk around the world thinking you need things in order for people to love and respect you. Not even love you, respect you, because you all think that's the same thing, right? You need to have the many things so somebody can think you're useful. And then as long as you don't have those things, you don't even want to come around people because you don't believe you just ufeleleti like this. You have nothing to offer. And it makes you mad. So what are you doing again? Projecting, making like it's me. I'm the useless vessel. Baby, please. On your best day, you couldn't be me on my deathbed. Okay?